And now we're recording. Okay. Head over to this. There we go. Welcome, everyone.
Your camera's still not working.
I know, but they can see me.
Oh, they can?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They can see me because I have my camera on for Streamlabs. If they're watching on either Twitch or YouTube. Spotify, they probably can't see me. So, today I have my co-host, Eli.
Hello. I am Eli. Otherwise known as Soshi.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And welcome. Welcome to the Brian Moore Show. Welcome aboard, matey. So, today, the idea was to talk about mental health. And as you can probably see, maybe not, but as you can probably see, I have a tab open with Blackery's new song, which I will show you in maybe, I don't know how long, but I will show you. Hold your horses. We'll get to it. So, why don't we talk about, I don't know, depression or anxiety? Depression or anxiety first.
Well, I mean, the thing about mental health in today's society is that it's being more brought up now than before.
Definitely.
Especially than before, if you really think about it, like a lot more. But it's still not talked about enough. Like, I remember being bullied for stupid things, and the thing is, it may not be an issue as much today, but the thing is, there are still people who are being bullied for things like if they have depression, people are rude to them, thinking that because they think they're thinking off their own standards, and it's just not inherently okay.
Yeah, I've definitely been a victim of bullying myself. Basically, been called every name and race in the book. Yes, even the N-word. Surprisingly. People who can see me. Hi, I'm white.
I mean, I'm white, but I'm also other things. My dad's from the Philippines.
Well,
I have a really mixed blood, but I look white, so...
My blood is also very mixed, but 99% of it... Well, I shouldn't bring in percentages because I haven't gotten the DNA test, but from what we know, personally, I am Irish, English, Dutch, German, Slovak, and Polak. And for anyone knowing, or not knowing, Slovak is Czechoslovakian. It's just short for that.
So I have a question for you, Brian.
Okay.
I saw your recent video, and you talked about having depression.
Yes.
So how has that impacted you?
Well, as you can see on my other channel, I have very much so declined in motivation and uploads and live streaming and everything. Basically just due to that motivation. And of course there's, causes for the depression, but it's also... I've also been clinically diagnosed, so...
That's good. I'm glad you got help.
Yeah, I definitely talked to a therapist.
That's especially good.
I can't tell if it's because of my depression or because of anger issues that I have that are pretty dormant right now. But either one doesn't really matter. I'm happy about it.
So you feel that you've been affected by this anxious feelings? You said you had anxiety as well.
Social anxiety, mostly, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I actually have anxiety or not, but social situations for me are very, very difficult.
Yeah.
I often wear a hoodie because even though it's hot,
for us.
just because it helps me. I also have a weird tick. I do this, but it helps. Sometimes. But the thing is, a lot of people don't know about that, and I think it's a real shame.
It
I'm
really
not sure about
is.
other states, but at the very least, I know in the state of Florida, there's no course dedicated to mental health, and I think there should be. Honestly,
There definitely should be.
I remember being brought up back in middle school, sixth grade, but very briefly talked over in health class. It was like really brief, and then right after that, we went on to something else. And it was like, so guys, people have depression. Okay, hey, cigarettes. You know, like, it was really quick. I was like, wow, that's
You
wow.
know, normally those two words should not go in the same sentence. Depression and cigarettes. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
yeah.
Whoever you are,
I mean,
no matter what age you are, no matter what gender you might be, or if you're, non-binary, whoever you
yeah.
are, do not turn to any sort of substance, including legal substances, to try to ease your pain. Please seek professional help. And if you are so bad into depression or suicidal thoughts or anything that bad, I am going to put at least the US's emergency suicide hotline in the description in YouTube, and
Yeah,
I might put it in the description on Anchor, which will go onto Spotify and all these
I
other things.
I especially feel that vaping's bad. It may not seem as bad
Some
because there's
vaping
not
is
as much
bad.
stigma towards it.
Some vaping is bad. Definitely the off-brand, illegal vapes. Yes, those are very bad and
Any vape that
very
contains
deadly.
nicotine, any vape that
That's
contains nicotine,
that is
I
the
feel is bad.
subject that I was just going to bring up, was that there are vape juices that do not contain nicotine, though I will definitely say that they are still dangerous due to the other chemicals that might be in it to create that sort of flavor.
I think that the worst chemical is nicotine just because it's an addiction based
Oh
chemical.
yeah.
And the thing about vaping is that there aren't as many rules against vaping since it's new. And so people that vape do it a lot more than any normal person. Oh god. Forgot to mute my notifications. But either way.
And
And since people
what some people don't understand is that, well, there used to be this stigma that uh, vaping was better than smoking regular cigarettes, though you
yeah,
shouldn't do either.
you should not. No.
I'm very much so implying that you should not do either, but scientifically, taking one hit off of a vape, that's basically like smoking 10 packs, where you can just take one cigarette, and yes, you're still killing yourself slowly, and you still shouldn't do it. That is scientifically and technically better for you than vaping, though you should not do either.
I'm not sure if that's correct.
Well, it might not be 10 packs, but it might be 10
I believe
cigarettes.
that cigarettes are worse in terms of chemicals because the chemicals used in cigarettes are similar to rat poison. They're really bad for your lungs, your heart, everything because of the tar. So I think cigarettes are much worse than vapes. But I think the problem with vaping is it's a psychological drug because the thing about it is that there's not as much of a stigma. If you go anywhere, right, there's clear signs saying smoking only outside. Vaping, however, most places do not have any rules against that. So
Only
anyone who
because
has access to a vape continuously vapes. And that's the horrible part, right? With a cigarette you're limited where, when, etc. With a vape you are not. So with a vape you end up doing more harm to yourself just because of the prolonged amount of use there. Whereas cigarettes, you use it a little bit less, although they are significantly worse for your body, I think, based on the chemicals. I could be wrong. I could be. But I do know for the very least that vaping is a more psychological issue because of the ability to use at ease.
Since we are on this specific little topic,
Mm-hmm.
I do want to bring it back to mental health, so I am
Yes.
going to say this, even though it might sound political, and it might be political, but my whole opinion on it, because I have basically grown up in a town where, yeah, it was definitely illegal to vape or smoke, or really do anything under the age of 18, or, drinking would definitely be illegal under the age of 21, up north anyway. Not sure if it's the same down here or not. I haven't paid that much attention. Um, but the main place that I really, really saw it was while I was waiting on the bus for the high schoolers to be released. The few that walked home and walked to school, those were the ones that were smoking. I
Yeah.
believe that in order to get cigarettes or vapes, I believe that you should definitely have to show an ID and prove that you are over the age of whatever the legal age is. Which
I
I
do
believe
think
that it should be 21, the same as drinking. In fact, I think
I haven't had this
that
experience
I,
personally.
I in fact think that the drinking age should go up as well. Because at the age of 21, your brain is not fully developed, and if you start partying, quote unquote, you're technically just ruining your life, and you're gonna just stop basically learning. You're not gonna stop learning, but your brain is gonna stop developing, and at some point, some people are going to look at you and think, what an idiot.
I haven't had this experience personally. However, I have heard that some kids in high school get access to vapes through other kids. Like, not just like, hey, you want to use, it's like they sell them. I'm
Oh,
not sure
yeah.
how common that is, but I've heard of it at the very least. So,
Really, that whole thing is the kids that look older go and get that stuff for the other kids, and those other kids buy it off of them because they see that,
it's cool.
entrepreneurial side of things, and that they can earn money off of this, which is completely illegal, especially in
Yeah.
school.
It didn't used to be. I remember that much.
No, it was.
No, I mean when vaping like became a thing. It
Was,
wasn't yet.
it was still illegal for minors.
There was some rule against it, I don't think, but I could be
At
wrong.
least,
I could
at
be
least
wrong.
where I'm from,
Yeah, that's true.
there are laws against it for minors. Which
I remember
that's really who
there
you
not
see
being any for
dying.
a while.
That's really who you see dying from vaping is the minors, and you
Yeah, I
wonder how they
remember.
get a hold of it.
Like a year or two, I would see one of my friends on Snapchat post a story of one of their friends who got popped lung from vaping, and I was like, wow, can't believe it. Who would vape that much? I mean,
Apparently, they did.
yeah, that's why I think it's a psychological thing. But speaking of which, the thing, trying to go back to,
All of that really just goes back to the bullying and the depression and the anxiety. It's a way to
I mean,
it's a
if you
wrong
look at
way to
statistics,
self-medicate.
if you look at statistics, you'll often see that anyone who is a drug addict or a alcohol addict, you'll often see that a good percentage of them are either depressed or have some sort of other mental issue,
Yeah.
because that's just the way of coping with things. I mean, it's not exactly like not everyone who does that has that reason. Some people just do it because it's cool, like smoking,
Well,
you know. But it
cool.
is a common occurrence that
Heavy air
people who
quotes.
drink, especially, cool. But it is a common occurrence, I think, at least, that people who are, especially like alcohol addicts, or people that have had some horrible experience happen to them, like maybe a loved one dying, or just being depressed or bullied or anything.
I'll
It may
definitely
just be a
agree with
real.
that.
It's just the wrong way of coping. It's the wrong way.
Yeah.
A
Um,
lot of people with depression, they have a poor self-image, which really sucks.
yeah, I
It's just
can
the thing that
definitely
comes along
attest
with
to
it.
that.
Yeah. And the thing is, because of this poor self-image, some people don't want to even get help because of it. I'm not sure the term is, but there's like a
That's
off term on depression. It's
there
it's for a specific
is
type of depression,
there
that is
is
those that are unwilling to talk about their depression.
there
What's
is
that called?
certain people that don't like to talk about their depression or don't like to talk about suicidal thoughts or anything. They don't like to talk about their struggles, which I can see that side of things, not wanting to talk about it. But at least for me, I have to talk about it. Because if I don't talk
Well,
about it,
the thing about
I will
those
not
that don't want to
survive.
talk about it, I could totally understand why they wouldn't.
Like I
For
said, I
some,
can understand why they wouldn't either.
yeah, I'm just talking about why. There's a huge negative stigma towards depressed kids, or at least in school, I think. Because I remember sitting next to my friends and then going, "Oh, look at that depressed kid. He's sad all the time," and I'm like, "Dude, he's sad for a reason. Leave him be." I don't like people like that.
And
And
this is really the two outcomes that would definitely, uh, most definitely come through if a kid does not get any sort of attention when it comes to like professional attention.
yeah,
They're
for
either
anyone who doesn't get attention,
yeah,
make sure to talk to your friends about it. Don't confide in those that you don't consider very good friends. But if you have good friends, ones that you trust very, very much, I suggest talking to them about it. Maybe just testing out to see if you can trust them like that. Because I guarantee you, at least one of your friends, one of the ones you could trust, if you've made any good friends, they'll be there for you. They won't abandon you because you're depressed. Although some people may be like that. Not your good friends. I think you should try that.
your good friends will definitely stay. Um,
Sorry, I cut you off.
yeah, the two things that are most likely to happen uh, when someone gets pushed over the edge, and I mean they friggin' they're snapped. Nothing matters to them anymore.
Yeah, they feel like they have nothing to live for.
Either they're going to commit suicide,
Fight or flight.
or they are going to shoot up a school.
I feel like when someone hits that snapping point, it's just fight or flight.
That's something.
If they
That's something
flight.
that 13 Reasons Why points out very well.
I did not like that show.
I personally like certain topics that they talk about,
I think they did it poorly.
but
I do appreciate a show about mental health, though. I do appreciate that.
I can definitely say that it's not a show that anyone should be watching without someone else being there. Unless you can handle it.
I don't think they did a very good job of portraying the character in a way that made sense.
I
Her
don't think
reasons
they
for
I don't think they
doing
did a good
suicide.
job with the suicide specific part of it, because really, my brain really thought, because when I started watching it, I was in a really dark place myself.
Yeah.
So dark that I ended up going to a mental hospital to get help.
I'm glad you went somewhere.
Um,
These places aren't exactly the best, but
I'm not gonna say exactly what happened, but I will sum up some of the reasons why I had to go. I had recently gotten dumped by my 2-month-long relationship. And that was the first one that I 100% gave my all to. So that hurt like a ton of bricks in a bag coming down on you from the Empire State Building. That's how bad that hurt.
Yeah.
Plus just the normal everyday stuff that I was going through. Being bullied in school, having to deal with, basically alcoholism in the home. And just really no one ever doing anything about either.
I bet it came with a feeling of hopelessness.
Definitely
And
hopelessness.
when you feel hopeless, you feel like you're in like an end of the tunnel. It's pitch black. You have no one near you. You can't feel anything near you. You can't hear anything. You can't see anything. No light. You know, the tunnel. Uh, I really feel those. I feel you're coming from there, and it often leads to things like depression and feelings that you just might as well not be here. I can completely get that, but there's always someone there for you.
I will say, personally, that I probably should have spent a little bit more time there, in talking to the professionals more. Even though, this is, a little one-off thing. They diagnosed me with Asperger's.
What?
Yep. The mental hospital diagnosed me with Asperger's.
What is that? I've never heard of that.
It's on the autistic scale.
Oh.
Our friend Ben.
Did I spell that? How do you spell that? What?
I'll let you figure that one out.
I don't want to put this in wrong. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's Asperger's. Okay.
Yes. Even though it does sound like ass burgers. Like burgers made out of ass.
Yeah. That's rare.
That's not what that is. It's not really rare, though.
Well, no.
It sounds
only
rare.
200,000 U.S. cases per year. That's rare.
Yeah.
Most conditions are pretty common.
I know people that have it. In fact, there's someone that we both know that has it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So it's a disorder affecting ability to effectively socialize and communicate. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense that people would have that.
I don't personally think that I do have it. But at the same time, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. And I'm not a therapist. So I don't have a diagnostic book. I can't diagnose somebody even if I, had the book. But at least if I had the book, I could see what exactly...
be certified,
yeah. And the psychiatrist that I did go to after the mental hospital, they didn't see Asperger's. So
I actually plan on becoming a psychologist.
I'll be honest, I think their assumption on me having Asperger's just from what I remember, was probably just because I kept, like, basically during the day, I kept going to the door because I knew there was someone sitting outside the door. Not specifically for me, but for the whole hallway.
Huh?
I'll be honest, it's kind of
I
like
don't.
prison, but it's for your own good.
Yeah, no, I've heard about it before.
Yeah.
I don't see how that would come to a diagnosis, but I don't know.
I don't know. I think they might have seen it beforehand. I'm not sure.
It's possible that the reason they came up with that is because you did not socialize with anyone, but I don't know.
I socialize with people fine. I just find it
Well, I mean, we were
hard.
there.
I just find it hard to, really get friends in a short amount of time.
Hmm.
You know, if I see you, right, and it's
Yeah.
the first time that I see you, I probably wouldn't say anything except for hi.
If I was in a situation like that, I'll be
Where,
honest, I don't like to make friends usually, but if I decide that I'll have no one to talk to, I will make friends, and I do make friends very fast if I want to. I remember when I first moved to my new school, I decided because I spent the first like 2 days by myself, and I got really bored, and I decided I needed friends. So the first thing I did the next day was I made like 5 friends, and I'd stick with those friends, and I made a couple more and a couple more, and then I, disregarded whoever was bad people because you don't want to hang around bad people.
yeah, bad people
So
suck.
I kind of just stuck with those friends, and I'm still sticking with those friends this day. So,
Yeah,
but I make friends fast. I just don't like to make friends usually because people are a hassle.
this is true. This is
This is
very
true.
true.
Yes.
People tend
Sorry.
to
Sorry
not
to off
be
topic.
good.
Did you start a timer at all, or do you have any sort of knowledge of how long we've been doing this?
I have a comment.
Uh,
Oh, one of my exes is watching. Hello.
Lovely.
That's fine. Um, we have been doing it almost for a half hour, but we can continue, seeing how this is such a good
Yeah.
topic.
So I do have more to talk about.
Yeah. Plus, I do want to get into, showing the music video as well. Well, I'll show the music,
Oh yes.
not the music video, because, you know. Um,
Yeah.
so, let's go toward the creator side of it, because I know that you have had somewhat of an experience being some sort of creator. So,
Yeah. I once had 14,000 followers on Instagram, which isn't really particularly a lot in comparison to some. It was interesting though. I did
it's a
deactivate
lot.
the account. I I'll be honest. I did create it fast, and like it was my main account, and then I kind of just started uploading things, and it got to that point. It only took me like a year to get that much. I could have continued, but I decided I wanted to deactivate it. I didn't have time for it because of school, and
Yeah.
I didn't really like it because it wasn't really me. So I, didn't want to continue with it. I will try to do it again at some point, but I want to do it on my own, my own page.
Yeah,
Really.
that's definitely understandable.
But yeah. Either way, so with creators, they have this really special, or even celebrities, really, they have this special thing that we don't get to see as normal people usually, which is a spotlight. Like what you said to me at a different point. Uh, people who are put in the spotlight have this image to uphold, and I guarantee you that comes with a really high price in terms of mental solitude.
Oh yeah.
Because anyone who is constantly watched 24/7 will feel like they can't be themselves with anyone. I guarantee you, it creates a huge mental problem for anyone.
Yeah.
I can't even. I can't imagine. anyone who would have, like, for instance, I don't know who's a big celebrity. Uh, I don't really know.
I would
any
imagine,
celebrity who's been in a movie or something.
let's say Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
He's
Oh yeah.
he's definitely a good example when it comes
You
to
know,
like
Jim
depression
Carrey.
and anxiety inside of a celebrity.
Jim Carrey was a very talented actor. Very
Very
talented.
funny.
I loved any movie I saw of him. But the thing is, right? If you think about the fact that how he ended up, especially with like depression and how that affected him, I think that stemmed from his performance. I think that he did such a great job in so many movies, and he had people surrounding him telling him, "Dude, you're so great. I love your movies." It sounds like a compliment, but to him, it builds up this status bar of how he has to be in the next movie, and I bet you that really impacted him.
Yeah.
I feel like anyone who has people watching them like that, even people in normal day lives, if they're parents, for instance, they have these expectations they need to meet because they think their parents have an expectation of what they're going to be, what they're going to do, and it really impacts the brain.
Yeah.
For instance, I'm the only son in my family. I have several
Same.
sisters, and
I don't have any siblings, but I am definitely the only son.
my dad always made it kind of like, you're my only son. You have to carry on my last name because I'm the only son. I'm like the last person in my family who has the last name, which I am not going to say because I don't really feel comfortable doing that. But either way, and it really, I didn't notice it until pretty recently, but I noticed I have this really big problem of freezing up whenever it comes to a future decision.
Yeah.
Like if I think about, I don't know, where am I going to live in the future? Like how am I going to prepare for college? Those issues make like I take a significantly longer time thinking about them because I have a feeling I need to be perfect, which is, I don't know if it's a really big problem because I definitely don't think I'm anywhere near anyone who has a following or anything like that. But I can understand how that would really impact someone.
You were,
Yeah,
but not
but
anymore. You're not in that spotlight anymore.
when I make a new post, I remember I had maybe 20 posts ready, and I'd like delete them. Like I wouldn't post them yet, but I would look at them. I'd really critically judge them. And I'd think this one's not good enough. This one's not good enough. This one's not good enough.
Yeah. You were
And it got
basically
to the point.
one-upping yourself every single
Yeah,
post.
it got to the point where I didn't have anything left to post because everything that was of really good value was already taken, not taken, already used. And all I had was the lower tier value, and I didn't want to post that. I didn't.
That's like, a lot of these, say, challenge channels or, I'm gonna say it like
Oh, the
this.
challenge channels, yeah, like Mr. Beast.
A channel like Mr. Beast, and probably
Dude, how do you,
someone
Mr.
like
Beast, surely.
Markiplier or Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey, in all of his movies, he just kept going up and up and up and up and up until Jim Carrey himself became a character. Mark
Jim
is
Carrey
fine, or at least from what we see.
Mark has dealt with it.
From what we see,
I think
Mark is fine, and he's very productive with what he's doing.
I think Mark deals with it pretty well, actually.
I do too. I think that he spends enough time offline to, be able to spend a little bit of that time online and be able to, be in that spotlight.
Yeah.
Where
he takes himself off the spotlight and doesn't concern himself with it.
With those three, they're just three examples of people just keep one-upping themselves and up and up and up. At some point, Jimmy, Mr. Beast, is gonna run out of huge challenges to do.
If you've noticed, Mr. Beast has been uploading less and less. And yeah. I don't know if that's because of him wanting a one of himself. It may be. But I also feel like he wants to do bigger things, not just because he wants to one of himself, but because he wants to be more charitable.
I
But
don't
I'm
know.
not sure how expansion works.
I don't know exactly all about Mr. Beast. I just know
Mr. Beast is very charitable.
I
In
know
his
that
most
he's
recent
very
video,
charitable and that he's also one of the richest YouTubers that exist.
here's the way I could show you how he's one up himself. He goes from the first video, $10,000 video. $10,000 if you are the last person in the circle. That's how that's really the trend that started after that. All those challenge videos. There was challenge channels before, but it really became a trend after that video because it blew up. And then he went from that to more 10,000 videos, more bigger prizes like a Lamborghini, and then it went from that to charity. He went from, for instance, buying a whole store out so I can give it to charity, to now owning his own food bank. Do you see the huge difference there?
Oh yeah,
It's not like
I
a leap.
can
It's
I
like
can see him passing PewDiePie within the next
he's got 55 million, I think.
within the next 2 years.
I'm betting one.
I
1.5.
give. Yeah. I would say within the next 2 years, he will pass PewDiePie. Also within the next 2 years, PewDiePie's probably gonna release a diss track or something. Like
He made a joke about that.
Like Coco.
He made a joke about that.
Yeah, I can just imagine it.
No. I remember what he said. PewDiePie said the only way he'd make one of those is if Mr. Beast made. Remember the whole campaign? I don't know if you watched it, but the whole campaign Mr. Beast did for subscribe to PewDiePie.
Yeah.
T-Series sucks. You know, if he said the only way he'd make a diss track on Mr. Beast is if Mr. Beast campaigned against himself. But
honestly, he'd probably do that.
Mr. Beast went from buying one house for a homeless man to his video, I think his last upload, but I think he just uploaded one today, which was buying 3 houses for 3 people, which was $1 million to make that video. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
He's got a lot of money.
A car, a house, all the furniture in the house, another house.
I'm willing to bet that quite a chunk of that money is coming from, I don't know, maybe Honey? Where is Honey getting all this money from anyway?
I don't know.
I'm on Markiplier's side with this. I don't understand Honey. Where are they getting the money for stuff like commercials and ads and like they're
I'm
paying
not sure
Mr. Beast and all these other people?
If I had to guess, it would be for every X amount of money they save, they also take a little bit of that money that they saved you in order to balance it out. Let's say they save you $35. They then take $15 from you and tell you saved $15. That's what I'd guess. I don't know. I would never trust Honey, not because I think they're an untrustworthy app, but what people don't understand is that using an extension that searches like millions of
probably
websites
the dark web as well.
It does invite the possibility of viruses.
This is true.
So
it could also end up with you getting hacked. You know, anything could happen really. Anyway, back to...
We're off topic, but I'd like to bring up the video, the song that she made, Emma Blackery. I think I just said that wrong, Emma Blackery.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I only just discovered her, thanks to Brian.
Yeah.
But after watching her video, her song, I should say, the lyrics intrigued me. I think it was very, what's the word? I don't know the word.
Interesting?
I get it. Yeah. No, not interesting. It was like a word that says that anyone could get it. Like,
relatable?
Yes, relatable. Thank you.
Very
relatable.
Yeah.
Continue. I knew you wanted to talk about this, so I will let you talk about it.
Anyone could get it, but it's very relatable when it comes from...
Are you going to play the song, or are we just going to talk about the lyrics? Because I will pull up the lyrics if we need to.
I mean, I will play a bit of the song. I did ask her on Twitter if I could promote the song, but
did she respond?
She didn't respond in time, so
let's not play the song.
I am going to play.
Do not play the song.
30 seconds of the song because there are time increments that will save you from copyright.
But 3 seconds isn't going to help. So you want me to just read the lyrics? I could read them.
It's okay. If the video gets copyrighted or whatever, I'll figure it out.
But there's no point. I could just read the lyrics.
I'm not going to turn the volume up just yet. There we go.
Or just a second. I think.
That is exactly 30 seconds.
So the lyrics of the song that personally I feel like was pretty good was because you don't want to see me cry, they just want to see me smile all the time, and they don't want to see me sad. What could possibly make my life so bad? Yeah. They say you gotta stop crying all the time, and they say you gotta stop crying all the time. Those lyrics, personally, I feel like are really really personal to her.
Definitely.
I'm glad she opened up in terms of creating a song that convey her feelings to the fans, which is what music is. It's an art. And art is used to convey feelings.
Your audio kind of cut out for like a small second while you were
talking
about it.
Well, hopefully you got whatever I was trying to say. Oh well.
I don't know.
But yeah, it's a good song.
Yeah. Definitely a good song. I think it really covers the whole creator side of, being in the spotlight so much and having to hide basically yourself from all these quote-unquote crying fans.
There's a lyric in there for that, actually.
That are...
Here, this lyric.
Begging for your attention. Begging for signatures, pictures, whatever. They're begging to talk to you. So you have to set your own feelings aside in order to tend to them. Which, I'll add my 2 cents into that. No, you don't. You have to take care of yourself first.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lyric in the song that actually conveys that. It's, so what's all this about? You bring me up to knock me down. She's referring to the fans. The fans raise her up, ask for music. They like the songs, but they whenever she shows it on the side of her, they just knock her right back down.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
that can definitely be taken in more than one way, since how she is also a YouTuber. You could turn it in the direction of she's constantly getting hate for literally no reason. Like, she showed her side, basically. She told her side of what was going on in this certain, I believe it was a legal battle, but I'm not sure about it 100%.
These lyrics, Jesus. Sorry, I found more of the lyrics.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, if you can't be happy, you can't be deserving. We're the ones who made you. The empire's burning. Why are you still crying? We gave you fame and money. See,
Yeah. That's definitely directed toward how the fans make either her feel or how the fans make celebrity-ish figures feel. Which I can definitely understand.
No, I feel like that is the public consensus in terms of YouTubers. We made you, so you have to do this.
This is true.
I especially hate that when it's about girls.
some even when it's not about girls, you can say take it from another musical artist side. Tom MacDonald, right? He he touches on the fans in one of his, actually quite a few of his songs, but specifically one song titled "Fake Fans." Which I'm not going to play right now. We'll talk more about that probably tomorrow, Sunday. Or I should say later, because technically this is going up on Sunday as well. But, you know what I mean. We'll talk about that at another time, we'll say.
I think what contributes to this issue...
Hang on. What he addresses is, like, you kind of have to, quote-unquote, change yourself in order to be accepted. Because I'm viewing chat on my phone, I can't look up the lyrics quite yet. And I'm not saying that you need to either. Like I said, we'll talk about that later. Basically, one of the words is, I ain't changing for a fan. You ain't my ma. You ain't my boss. You ain't my pa. So... with that means, like, because he's an independent artist, he's not signed to a record label. He does everything himself, along with his girlfriend. Basically, that means that the fans, you aren't someone's boss. Like this, I enjoy doing this. I enjoy doing a podcast. I enjoy doing my regular YouTube channel. Just like I enjoy writing raps. You know, I enjoy doing the things that I do. That's why I do them. If I didn't enjoy them, I wouldn't do them. Whether there were fans waiting there for me or not. You know,
I think what contributes to this...
There's definitely that fame-chasing side of me, but I would completely ignore that if it's doing something that I did not want to do. You know?
What I think contributes to this is the problem of can never say it. Anonymous, but the plural word and not anonymity? Whatever. I never could say that word.
I don't know what it is.
It's anonymous, but it's plural. Yeah.
The anonymous... No, the plural form of anonymous. Anonymity, I think. Anonymity.
Yeah, it's anonymity. I can never say it.
Anonymity. I don't know.
It's anonymity. Anonymity. I got it! Let's go!
Yes.
Either way, anonymity. I think that's the real issue because, you know, people think, I'm on a device, it's not gonna... it doesn't matter what
it's cyberbullying 101. That's what it is.
But I will say, any creator, any person in general, anyone who's going to knock you down has some sort of reason to do so, either to build themselves up, which is not okay, or just for no reason because they can. That's whatever for social media. Anonymity. You know what? Let's whatever. Point is, if you're being pushed down, just remember, do what you want to do. There's a quote I've always liked. I can't remember it off the top of my head entirely, but it's I'd rather be hated for being me than being loved for someone who I'm not. I think that's the quote. And I think that's a great quote. I'd rather be
hated for being myself than be loved for someone that I'm not.
Yeah. And I think anyone watching this should take that to heart.
Definitely.
Because you should care about your character, not about what people think about you. I know it's hard. I definitely know it's hard. In middle school, I got bullied. It wasn't so bad, but I had people who didn't like me and whatnot, but I didn't care because I was myself, and I dressed weird. Not like significantly weird, but like I liked things that other people did not find acceptable. For instance, anime, comic books. I'm a geek. That type of. I have DC Comics right there. Like, but the point is, a lot of people didn't like me for that, and I'd get comments about, why do you like that? Oh, like those type of comments. And I just didn't care because I did originally, but over time I stopped caring because why should I care what these random people who I'm not gonna really know care about what I do or what I think?
Yeah.
It just doesn't matter. It doesn't. I know it's hard though. It really is to stop caring about what people think because that's how it is. As human beings, we do care about what people think. But I think the real solution is just to care about the people that matter to you over the people that you don't see or care about.
Because of the way that I've had to grow up, I've basically had to teach myself a lot of the, societal rules. Like the golden rule, treat others the way you want to be treated. But there's also another hidden rule that people don't like to say anymore or talk about is an eye for an eye. Which means
that quote,
if, treat people the way you want to be treated. If someone treats you like trash, you should not just be kind to them. That's not how that works.
I disagree. I don't think you should be kind. I don't think you should be kind to them.
You should be civil with them, unless it just keeps going. Then you need to start, speaking up for yourself. That's where an eye for an eye comes in.
There's a quote.
If they hit you, I know nowadays, at least for people in school, I don't know about, the workplace or anything. I'm only 17. Don't cancel me. Don't sue me. I know, at least in school, if you get in a fight and you're trying to defend yourself, you're going to get suspended too, even though you are defending yourself. And you weren't the one that, threw the first punch. It doesn't matter to schools nowadays. Doesn't matter to police nowadays.
It never did.
No, it definitely did. If you're defending yourself against someone that was, beating on you, that is something that you should not be punished for.
Well, yeah, that's our belief. I just don't think it was ever the common consensus. I will say, though, there is a quote, if everyone went for an eye, the whole world would be blind. And the reason behind that is because, revenge is a fickle thing. People want revenge for anything done to them. And I get the feeling, but at the same time, you have to realize that you'll be no better than them. It's definitely a hard thing to think about. Not because, it's just hard to calm yourself down in the moment. That's what I'm trying to say. So I understand that. But you do have to think about that. It's not okay to, even if I was punched first or something, if I was especially in school, if I was punched first, I wouldn't punch back. It's a simple matter of it. I'm stronger than him by not punching back. I mean, some people may not say it that way, but I do. So that's what matters.
I respect that. I do. But like I had said, in my growing up, I have dealt with absolutely nothing but bullshit. Is your camera okay?
My camera. Probably my camera.
There we go.
What happened to my camera?
It's back now. It went for I don't know, half a second or something. Anyway, what was I You
The way you
remember
grew
what I
up.
was saying? Yeah, the way that I grew up, it made me see the way that the world truly is, and the fact that really mercy is just in the attacker's hands. Whether they choose to show you mercy or not is up to them. And if they don't, then you need to fight back.
I mean, in the experiences I had growing up, I didn't grow up with a bad
Like,
family. Although I did have...
listen, I understand the thought process of, I don't want to hit back. I don't like violence either, believe it or not. I don't like fighting. But if I have to fight, I'm going to fight. That's the way I feel
I'm not trying
about
to
the
say that.
military. That's the way I feel about everything. I don't want to join the military. But if they invade my country, if they
Or what?
mess with me, mess with my family, my friends, that's when I'll step in. I'm willing to risk my life for someone else's when something happens, when I am in danger as well.
What I was
school
trying to say...
shooting, I would take down the shooter, or at least I would attempt to.
I would prefer to, in a situation of school shooting, I would prefer to meet up with the people I care about and try to protect them. I do not think trying to take it down a school shooter will really have any effect. I think effectively getting my friends and loved ones out of danger, like for instance, having them go to the opposite side of the building and staying with them to make sure they're safe is a better idea, but by all means do whatever you think is correct.
Well, I really say it that way because I remember last school year, 9th grade, I remember being in one of those drills where, like, down here it's really friggin' weird. They don't have you just hide. They either make you hide, or they make you run, or they make you pick up something that you're gonna throw at them. Like, that's really
Wait, don't they
stupid.
have a new system? They have a new system, don't they?
No, that...
A, B... I don't know, it's like attack, barricade, and something else.
Yeah, that's what I was referencing, was that, like, they now make you pick up something that you're gonna, like, throw at them, or, like, hit them with something. No, you don't do that, because you are putting your life on the line, and everyone else's. You either hide, or you group together and get the fuck out.
I don't think what the school is intending for you to do is to stand up and throw something at them. I think it's just to practice in case you might have to. If, for instance, a school shooter breaks into your classroom and you're hiding,
that's not something that you would do.
Throw something out.
That's not something that you would do in a normal circumstance.
Yeah.
I do want to add this little snippet though. When the drill was happening, right? I'm not going to say names, but the people in that class, I was in Spanish, first period, people know who you are, idiots. Every single one of them is an idiot. Every single one. Because they knew that the door opened outward instead of inward. And so, to quote-unquote barricade, and this was the even dumber part, they stacked desks on top of one another as if one was to sit in them. So, there was huge gaps for quote-unquote shooter to shoot through. And he could have just opened the door. He or she. They could have just opened the door and just shot. Like, they're dumb. So I took off my sweatshirt, put a knot in it, and wrapped it around the door handle and pulled as hard as I possibly could.
Yeah.
Because big brain, compared to small brains, including the teacher who was also an idiot. I'm not going to name names. You know who you are.
What I was trying to say earlier, though, when you were talking about your experiences, I I don't have exactly the same experiences. I have different experiences, obviously. I did go through hardships I will not talk about. However, I did learn that the world is a really shitty place.
Oh, yeah.
I may have an idealistic point of view, but in terms of my viewpoint, I'm usually a realist. And I do think that 99.99% of people are shitty people, honestly. So
In their own
I
way,
do
yeah.
understand the
I'll
concept
agree with
of playing revenge, because why should such a shitty person do something so horrid to me for I don't know what it would be, but something bad to me. I understand that point of view. But, I just care about myself more than getting revenge. So
yeah.
it's just I don't think that getting revenge gives you anything. It doesn't give you anything if I think about it.
Yeah.
There's nothing you gain from it. And what you're thinking of is you're lowering yourself to that person's viewpoint. And I will not concede like that. That's just my point of view.
Yeah.
Unless they truly did something horrible. I'm not saying I would never. If someone did something horrible to my family or someone I care about, I'm gonna deck them. Let's be honest, right? But if someone did something horrible to me, I don't know, like took like a water and spilled it on me, I'll do nothing more than intimidate them.
Yeah.
I will not punch them for it or anything like
I'll
that.
agree with, like, the petty shit. I won't bother with petty shit. But
I
when it
remember in
comes
middle
to
school.
fist-to-face contact, or fist-to-body contact, that's when I'll punch back. You don't touch me.
It depends on the scenario.
Without my permission, you don't touch me.
In middle school, this kid purposely threw we had like these bags of like juice, like apple juice,
Yeah.
and he purposely threw it at me. I never knew the kid. I never spoke to him once in my entire life. He was like a lower grade than me by I think one or something like that. And he like threw it at me. It was open. It got all over me. I turn around and this kid's just laughing. He's like, "Oh, my bad," and I'm like, I just gave him a death stare. Like, I'm not gonna go punch him or anything. I did give him a death stare because why'd you intentionally do that? There's no reason.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, I didn't mean to." Look, you got it all over you. Like, he just kept on doing like little shots like that. I got my death stare intensified, and that kid ended up actually leaving the cafeteria. It was pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. My friends were surprised because I'm not usually an aggressive person. Even if it's just a death stare, it's pretty aggressive for me.
Yeah, there are quite a few kids, maybe not down here, but back up home, there are quite a few kids that are scared shitless of me. And I'm honestly proud of that when it comes to intimidating. Yeah,
I've only ever... See, intimidation is also a form of confrontation. So I don't usually confront people, even if they do something poorly to me.
Well, in this day and age, I don't really have to, because I'm, doing the schooling online.
Yeah, that's true.
So unless there's like a kid that's constantly interrupting, or like using the chat in the wrong way, I'll say something like, "Come on, dude, this is distracting me. I need to concentrate. Please stop." Unless it's that, then I don't really have any need to confront.
Speaking of online school, I think it is a huge contributor to depression, because that's what our topic is, and I think it's a really big issue.
Possibly,
because
with having to stay away from people, yeah.
There are case studies of what happens when you socially isolate someone. There were studies of chimpanzees or other monkeys, high-functioning monkeys, and they did a study of what happens when this monkey is by itself for a prolonged period of time. And what happens is the monkeys slowly gets more, well, I guess depressed, really, because the monkey just ends up not wanting to do anything, he eats less food, or he eats more food. It's really depending on the monkey, obviously, or the person in our scenario. And what happens is
What's the difference, really?
productivity of the monkey goes down. Well, some people may not believe that, but science indicates so.
Yeah,
but either
science is fact.
What ends up
I'm
happening
not going
to
to
the
get
monkey,
into this. I'm just saying science is fact.
What ends up happening to the monkey is the monkey ends up having the urge to kill itself due to lack of socialization, and it is especially so to humans because humans are social creatures. Our whole lives revolve around other people.
We depend
Some
on
people
each other to
know
keep each other sane.
exactly, and so socially isolating yourself is not okay. I may talk to people online, but I don't do it as much as I would if I went to school. I don't get to talk to people face to face, and this lack of face to face contact is really draining, and it really affects my productivity. If you look at my productivity from quarter one down to this quarter, my quarter one I had A's and B's. Quarter two I had significantly worse grades. Why do you think that is? Because I have no one to talk to. I have no motivation. I have zero socialization. I have not seen anyone. I am totally even if I'm talking to someone like I am right now, it is not the same. It is still isolation.
Yeah.
I do not have my other
I'll
senses
agree with
that I just have my voice in my ears. It is really difficult, and I truly hope this is over soon. Not, I mean, the thing is, I don't think online schooling is ever going to go away. I honestly think it'll happen.
I don't think that it should go away just because of the, immunosuppressant people and the people that would be at risk. Even if there were to be a vaccine, say, someone that is immunosuppressant or, like, they're in danger of getting it, say someone like them were to take the vaccine and it work like the flu shot. What the flu shot does is it gives you like a tiny bit of the flu in order for your immune system to be able to fight off the flu.
Yeah, because your white blood cells need to have knowledge of it in order to fight it.
Yeah, which I'm hoping that this vaccine isn't going to be like the flu shot, but even if it is like the flu shot, say it gets worse after you get the shot, and you just die.
There's two vaccine shots. You should take two.
I know that there's the Johnson & Johnson, which came out recently, and there's also a normal one. I don't know.
No, I mean you take two.
The normal one.
There's two shots you need to take, not because they're not different companies. I'm talking about like there's two parts to the single shot. So after the first shot, if you have any symptoms, you're not supposed to take the second one. But if you do not have any symptoms, hopefully you're not like, I don't know, there's no sort of asymptomatic type situation. But if you take both shots, you should be fine. Hopefully, there is always a chance of it backfiring. There is, so even in the flu vaccine, any vaccine.
Yeah.
It's just how it works. But what was I gonna say? Oh, online school I think will never go away. Even if Corona goes away forever, there will always be online school from now on because I think there will never be a snow day ever again. I don't have snow where in my state, but like a time, or for instance hurricanes here. So I don't think there will ever be a day off for a hurricane or a snow day or anything like that ever again. I think when you go home, or if you can't go to school, I mean, they will just have you go use the Zoom class schedule instead, and it'll just continue like that.
Well, they really can't do that. They really can't do that just based off of the fact that you legally can't do that.
Why not?
You just can't. Like, at least in, the place that I'm at, you know where that is. I'm not saying where that is because I'm not going to dox myself. At the school that I go to, there was a, wind advisory where, couldn't be on the buses or anything. So they ended school early. Canceled all the rest of the classes after third period. And so we just had the rest of the day off.
But why can't they just make people go online? I don't...
Because
there's no reason
of the weather. If the weather takes out someone's internet or takes out everyone's internet, You can't
Yeah, but
make them tune into
you have
online school or Zooms
you do have a point.
because
Yeah.
they can't do so.
All right. Well, I guess only the future will really be able to tell. Hopefully,
And you
they
can't
never
really...
this online model ever, but there's a possibility. I will not
Plus,
say there is no possibility.
though I will say the bad side of online school, aside from the isolation and everything,
And the
you
depression,
could,
mental disorders,
yeah,
etc.
all
Yeah.
that. Aside from that, the bad side of online schooling, separate from homeschooling is much, much different than online school.
Yeah.
Because online school, you still have to deal with the fucktards that you were in school with the last year. Or, they may not be fucktards. Whatever. Either way, the really bad thing is that, you could have just a really disobedient kid whose parents really don't care, or they have, like, their own office or something inside their house that their parents don't bother checking in on them. And they could literally just be sitting there not joining the Zoom calls, not, doing anything with school. And they could just be sitting there playing video games and not doing anything.
I will not lie, there has been days where I didn't join Zoom, but it was because I was sick or something else. Because, like, for instance, I think last week or the week before, I had a fever, and I felt, like, weak, so I couldn't really... I didn't feel like going to get my laptop, although I did sleep half of my class. I slept through half of my classes because of the fever.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a good reason not to, but some people may not. I think
it is a good reason not to.
I could not. Like, I felt like my muscles would break if I got up to go. Because my desk. Well, I rearranged my room recently, but my desk used to be over there.
Yeah.
My bed was here, and it was like a long distance to get over there. Well, to me, it was. So I didn't want to do it. But I mean, I missed half of my classes either way, so it was like, probably more than half. But I do think we should end this off really soon.
I will take a look at the timing of it. Oh yeah,
I'd say an hour.
Yeah, it's been past an hour. So thank you guys so much for tuning in on Twitch, and
I hope you guys. Oh, sorry.
And for the people that are watching on YouTube and listening in on any sort of other apps or anything that you hear this podcast on, such as Spotify or Google Podcasts.
Is it okay if I say something?
Thank you for listening.
Is it okay if I say something
Go ahead.
before you end it?
Go ahead.
Anyone who's struggling with any sort of mental disorder or issue, I think you should go get help, even if you have a situation where you can't get help. There's always the option of putting yourself into a like what Brian went through. I think there's always an option to go through that. You may not want to, but you really should go get help, or at least confide in a friend, because without it, you will reach a breaking point. You think you may not, but you will. There is always a breaking point. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any suggestions for a new topic for the next one, please let us know. Yeah, that's all I had to say. But
I will end it in like a second. Okay.
Alright.
That's really fucking weird. I will say, for people who are on Twitch, please do not self-promote in my chat.
Oh,
Please do not. You will immediately get banned. You will immediately get banned.
People give us a topic. I hope people give us a topic. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Even if we have like a bigger topic in the next episode, we'd still be able to go over that topic as a subtopic. So it'd be great. I really hope people give us one. That'd be really cool. Sorry, I'm just saying the same thing twice. Let me know when you end it, by the way.
I will.
because I don't want to start talking about something I shouldn't.
I don't know how to remove it, so I guess it's gonna stay there. Anyway, like I said, thank you all for listening, and watching, about to watch, whatever. And I will see
Feel free to give us feedback.
We will see each and every single one of you in the next episode, which is coming later.
Should you give a shout out to your other channel or something?
Well, it's not in the description now that I think about it. You
can work on that later. I'll give
fine.
you the link to my
I gave the name in the description, so that's good enough. It's got enough subscribers where it'll show up somehow, some way. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching, listening, and whatnot. And we will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye! Bye!